Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here live on the Speed Zone TV as we are here with Ruff-Neck Racing once again in James Wagner's Welding Superspeedway Series. Live tonight, we are going to bring to you the fastest and the toughest with 25 heading into the field as they will bring the Fords, Chevys, and Toyotas to the famed World Speed Racing track. The world of speed and the world of racing comes through this part of town. Welcome to Daytona International Speedway in Daytona, Florida for your Ruff-Neck Racing, James Wagner's Welding Super Speedway Series. I got number one. I am Christian Shriver, the dead man with a hot mic in hand, and I'm about ready to get down and dirty here with you onto the track and onto the show. Before, of course, let's set it down to the show. On the pole, it will be the number 78, Tyler Manning. The outside, number 6 is Patrick Ginter. Row number 2 in the 33 will be Ben Parson. The outside, and now number 30 is James Wagner. Row number 6 is going to be the 28 of Barry Tolson. The outside, the number 4 is Andrew Smith. Row number 4, and the number 69 will be Brian Lashbrook. With the outside, the number 2 is Tim Richardson. Row 5, and the 67 is Ben Ryan. The outside, and the 15 is Gary Miller. Row number 6, and the 96 is Matthew Barker, the ace himself. On the outside, and the 27 is Ryan Hunter. Row number 7 is going to be wielded by the number 58 of Johnny Hurst. The outside, number 13, that's going to be Chris Ramsey. Row number 8, and the 3 is Tyler Barnes. The outside, and that 5 is Shane Wielden Sr. The outside. Row to number 9 is going to be the 22 of Gary Sicklecow. The outside will be the 99 of Larry Fairman. Row number 10 is the 7 of Dalton Steele. The outside of that 24 is Nicholas Donfrancesco. Row number 11 in the 98 is Eric Copperthorne. The outside, number 34 is going to be Mike Stremensky. Row number 12 and the 16 is Liam Beebe. The outside, the 11 is Cody Troyer. Our final starter today in the 18, it's Justin Wine. Race fans, it's showtime here on Speed Zone TV. We're getting ready to bring it down here in Daytona International Speedway. A who's who of drivers with a lineup fierce and strong, ready to get out of here and ready to bring it down to the house. Get ready for this one. The James Wagner Welding Super Speedway Series is about to commence. Drivers preparing and fielding their cars, ready to roll it down onto the track and get down to business here. Many of them looking on at what they are going to be experiencing this 2.5-mile long track. Certainly going to give them quite a workout, quite a show. 96-degree temperature out here, pretty normal for this time of the year. Going to be a little hard to see how the altitude change kind of changes them up a bit. 2.5 miles length, Daytona International Speedway, not the biggest super speedway they'll run. But with the way this track is, it is tight centered and tight cornered. 3 wides, easy to do. The moves, not so much. We'll see how that fares and plays out here. Every driver right now getting ready for this one. Under the lights of Daytona International Speedway race fans, time to get down in business here. We're rolling them off to the green flag. Here we go in Daytona. Start out of the gate there for Tyler Manning. Roll him right down across the field with the 33 of Ben Parsons falling behind number 28 of Barry Tolson right in the back beside him. Field up on the top side trying to get something going there. Patrick Ginter will try and start 2, 3, 3, 4. Fat Finger Racing and Sarah Lashbrook has joined us in the chat. Thanks for you all. Good to see you again here. 334 says, come on, Elite, get that second win. Fat Finger Racing sings Stremensky to the front. And Sarah Lashbrook says, let's go 69, 6, and 5, and 30 under the lights. Great to have you all on board. I'll be reading your chats as you put them along. Feel free to comment as much as you like, as much as you want. I will be with you this entire race, as you can probably guess. because I don't have a second announcer with me, that pretty much means I'm going to be having a little bit of fun. A little trouble down there as we got a caution flag out on the fat here. Caution lights are on the circuit here. We'll have to take a look and see what happened here. Looks like maybe Chris Ramsey and looks like Liam Beebe might have a little bit of a problem down there. We're going to go to the Speed Zone TV Instant Replay. Let's take a look at this here, see what we can find out. A lot of slowdown down there. Man, everybody just kind of trying to get out of there. I'm not sure what the heck happened. Might be a bit of an inconclusive situation there. We'll have to take a farther look. Oh, right up there, you have to see, everyone, looked like everybody was trying to get out of that wreck, and it kind of just ended up kind of catching everybody off guard. Something happened up front there that ended up catching everybody out of control. The main distribution for the caution was the 13 and the 16 and Liam Beebe getting into it, but something up front was what started the chain reaction. We'll take a look up here. I think we can figure this one out here, but we're going to go right into the spot here. Here we go. You see the number 96 right there. That is the one I believe that may have started. Yeah, right there. You see the 58, 69. Getting into it a bit there. Unfortunately, a bit of a chain reaction shot there. That one's going to be a little hard to really give a definitive answer on that. Who's truly at fault. In this case, we'll have to let the cards play out in this one. So the field right now currently going to go ahead and get themselves into pit road, get themselves a chance to kind of fire back onto the circuit here. Everybody right now trying to get in and out quickly, trying to get themselves a chance to get some damage or some fuel up into the machines. Going to be very interesting too, folks, to really see how much of a difference this makes on the driver's standpoint, because again, they're driving Gen 6 cars tonight. And what that's going to do is that's going to really make things a lot more difficult in terms of making sure you find that rhythm and find that move. These things won't get as loose, obviously, as the Gen 7s do, or / next gens. But what I know from racing these things and my time in these cars is that the more of a driver you got behind you pushing you around and keeping you stabilized, the faster these things will be able to push up. So those drains that they bring to the track are going to be very critical in this case here. Tim Gingerich has joined, 9521 has joined us as well. It says go number 11. Great to have you on board here tonight. Great to see everybody again, and hopefully things will be able to see what happens from there. Ashley Go Bull saying, let's go Ginter and Welding tonight. Rooting on for a big set of team drivers there, and we'll see how they handle on the track. Everybody getting ready to roll it back down on the speedway here. A who's who of drivers trying to find their place and trying to find their rhythm. My question is, again, will they be able to master the draft and master the pack of the back? Because this thing is going to fight and scratch and claw on them quite a bit here. Seeing a lot of drivers right now getting themselves squared up. Just trying to get settled up and situated. And again, fuel is going to be very important here, because again, that fuel run is what's going to separate the men from the boys, and who can figure out when and where to get the right time to get that fuel back in the car, get themselves more of a chance to run down the lanes and run down the final drive. And getting to pit road is no easy task either. Just think about it. You're stuck on that outside lane when you got like 2 or 1 lap to go. Fuel, man, if you ain't getting anywhere near that bottom, not only have you lost speed and drive, but you've also in a lot of ways kind of just done yourself a little bit dirty, because at that point you're basically holding on by a thread. You're hoping that either you don't wreck yourself or wreck somebody else with you. So that is where really these drivers got to maintain focus as much as they've got to maintain control of this racing line, this maneuvering. We'll bring the pace car right off of turn number 4 this time on by here, folks. Ruff-Neck Racing and James Wagner's Welding Superspeedway Series about to get back underway. Rolling them off right on down the front straightaway here, back to our restart zone. The Wagner's Welding restart zone initiated. Green lights on. Send them to the green. A lot of movers and goers out of that one. Not a lot of them getting the start they wanted. Again, 550 horsepower package under these cars, but don't worry. When they get that drag going, oh boy, those drafts and that drag turns into nothing, and they can let them loose. Air under those carburetors, get some air inside that machine, and let those things eat and kick and drill it up. Way up high wise. There goes the number 15 machine. Gary Miller getting a little bit lopsided there. Hopefully he was able to kind of get himself squared up back on around the circuit. Looks like no problems in that case, but that almost turned into a bit of a problem there for him. As we once saw just a little bit ago, you can't get too overcomplicated here and overcompensated in some of these runs. Flying high as much as we're up in the sky right now. Everybody's still in a nice little tandem pack. I think they're just trying to get their sea legs underneath them. Maybe trying to get themselves a little bit more set up. These things, again, having to change quickly from a Gen 7 car to then all of a sudden going back to the old days of the Gen 6s. And again, these, whoa, I was about to say, they can definitely throw you for a bit of a loop. Oh, and they certainly are. I thought, honestly, maybe they'd be able to kind of line these things up and actually keep that draft going. Man, these things are a little all over the place now. Could it be maybe just nerves, or could it be actually that the car is just not giving them any breathing room to make any mistakes? Hard to say. They want to push and shove, but the problem is these cars are not wanting to stay stable. It looks like one little push in that back, and that rear end is just completely getting lopped over and thrown a bit of away. Can't say for sure whether or not that's getting them a little bit flustered or a little bit annoyed, but nevertheless, they stay stabilized and stay green. Credit to them. Rolling back around right now at the moment. Now you can see the 2 car tandem packs are starting to set up here right now on the top side. Tyler Barnes in the number 3, and I think if there's a car number that was ever synonymous with Daytona, if you don't count the 43 of Richard Petty and his 7 Daytona 500s, I think most people would agree that lone number 3 is probably the most infamous number in all of Daytona, for good and bad reasons, if you will. But nevertheless, Tyler trying to get that 3 back into victory lane today. Not doing too shabby out of the gate. The Elite Motorsports machine staying right where he wants to and keeping himself in a good position. Larry Fairman Another driver from our brothers and sisters up north in the Canadian region. He is right now starting in the 18th spot. He moved 16th up. He's now in second there, right ahead of the guy that, well, let's just say pretty much has been the one that's been giving him all sorts of headaches as of late. That is the number 6-7 of Ben Ryan. 2 wins in a row so far in the Super Speedway Series, 2 in the next gen. What would he do in the Gen 6 right now? I think he's getting a good idea of it. My word. They are all over the place. They can't stay on the bottom. They can't stay on the top. And if someone goes up to the top, somebody's right there waiting for them. They are absolutely moving around the track. Nobody is staying still, and nobody is staying in one position. They are all over the place. I like the strategy from Barnes, though, honestly. Kind of keep these drivers at bay. Try to keep them honest. Don't let them get too comfortable. Don't let them get too confident. On one hand, I like the idea of it, but on the other hand, well, you'll see what happens sometimes when some drivers try to block around here, especially in this kind of racing format and style. How much of that is possibly a toll on them? That is a question. Now again, Barnes, he really, decides hit, not just besides him, but trouble up and in, right up in the mix. Wagoner has gone for a ride down off turn into turn 3 from the backstretch. I was just about to say there was a whole bunch of drivers moving around down there, but I didn't think they was moving as much as Tyler Barnes. Now that's all but out the window. Let's take a look at the replay here on lap number 12. See, we get a good idea. Looks like the number 98 there was the one that kind of started that with a 28. I have to get a good eye view there of that one. See what the heck happened there between Barry. Looks like, yeah. Looks like maybe the 99 kind of went down on there and kind of caught everybody off guard. The problem with these super speedway races is that really you can't fully determine who is the one at fault usually on the bird's eye view. So literally you got to kind of think long and hard about who went where and who did what. Well, from the look of that, it looks like the 28 didn't slow up there when the number 99 there was kind of getting into it, unfortunately, and I think that's what started this whole chain reaction. One more look at it here. Here's another camera angle for you. This is the top nose. This is the top cam there on the nose. Yeah, you can see right there. In my opinion, that looks like that's on the 28. Had time to back off and instead just kind of drove right into that corner panel. Here on lap number 12. Here on lap number 12, unfortunately. And with that, race fans, we're going to go ahead and cut to a quick commercial message. When we come back, there is still plenty more action to be seen here down on the track. We'll see who else can bring it to the show when we return.
Ruff-Neck Racing would like to thank our sponsor, Wagoner Welding. Wagoner Welding is a family-owned and operated business located in North Wilkesboro, North Carolina. They specialize in custom-built truck beds and framework of all types. You can reach them at 336-670-3427 or visit the shop located at 446 DeHart Church Road. Ruff-Neck Racing would like to thank our sponsor, Wagoner Welding. Wagoner Welding is a family-owned and operated business located in North Wilkesboro, North Carolina. They specialize in custom-built truck beds and framework of all types. You can reach them at 336-670-3427 or visit the shop located at 446 DeHart Church Road.
Welcome back live here, ladies and gentlemen. Here, the number 28 of Barry Tolson having going to the back there for the situation, getting the caution called out there, as we are currently just barely quarter of the race way done in this one. Sarah did not like that wreck. Unfortunately, he's screaming the no and saying the number 4 got airborne. Yeah, that number 4 definitely got airborne there, and unfortunately, just a tough deal, a tough break. And again, you got to think for 1 second here, too. Looking at it from the booth here, again, these officials down there, they're having to constantly look on at everything and clearly at changing at everything that's going on there. Constantly trying to make sure everything is right up to par. Really makes things a lot more interesting and a lot tougher out there to try to navigate through. And I say officials, too, by the way, a lot of these officials are down on that ground level, and they are constantly looking through everything, seeing it as it goes, putting themselves into dangerous situations and into very troublesome spots. So for that also, we do here at Speed Zone TV want to wish a heartfelt condolences and thoughts and prayers to those that affected the World of Outlaw series, as they have sadly lost one of the officials here in the last day or two. So we do want to send our condolences and wishes here from Speed Zone TV. Our thoughts and prayers are with them and their friends and family out there tonight. So now on to the restart zone, Tyler Barnes. The number 3 is going to still be a race leader. Brian Lashbrook in the 69. I know Sarah's probably chatting away right now, ready to see Brian get something figured out here. He's going to have his work cut out for him, but he'll have an extra welding hand down there, and Shane Welding Sr. Going to be interesting to see how they play their spots up, how they maneuver through the field, how they take themselves into contention. Very tough road here to have to figure out and have to nail down on here right now. Coming up quick and coming up fast, race fans. Here they come back down to the Wagner's Welding restart zone. Lights flicker on, green's back out. Here we go. A big cycle through on that pit stop zone there. Sarah says, but number 69 is now the leader after a pit cycle. I apologize there. I didn't know he jumped to the outside. Usually when they start the restarts, usually it's the leader on the inside, iRacing rules wise. If they are using the choose rule for leader, then yes, he was on the outside. That is my bad there. A lot of stuff going on here at the booth. Hard to keep track of everything sometimes. Rolling it back down off of turn number 3, down through in through turn number 4. Coming right in your living room is this Ruff-Neck field. Comers and goers and drivers trying to figure out their lane and their choice here. Bottom lane seems to be the preferred favorite, but you can see up top a lot of guys are trying to figure out how to get that gravy train with biscuit wheels rolling on the draft zone here. It looks like they're having some folks try to come with them. Tyler Manning, your race starter, sat on the pole and sat himself in a good position. I honestly thought maybe he was going to be a little higher up in this case by now, but he has actually been kind of thrown into a bit of the wolves here, getting trapped in the pack and then trapped in the draft. No, that was not a rhyme, no pun intended. Everybody just trying to figure out their lane right now, trying to get themselves squared up. As you see, 2 packs right now starting to form. The other pack started with Barry Tolson and and James Wagner there. They are the ones here. Nobody right now, honestly, in a proverbial top spotter, good positioning. That unless you're in the number 3 of Tyler Barnes. At that point, you really don't care. Just have that 6 set of Ben Ryan just kind of working with you to try to stay in this one. And a lot of of guys right now absolutely just cooking it down there on the speed, just trying to keep themselves in contention. That's about a 3.5 second gap there between the first one in that pack to the ones in the back. Oh, hold on, now there's more trouble down there, and Sarah, I don't mean to be rude, but I think you might want to turn the eyeballs off for a minute. We got a problem. Oh, nasty collision there. Unfortunately for Ryan Hunter, into that pack there, nowhere to go. A nasty, nasty collision there. Oh man, we gotta take a look at the replay once more. We're going to the Speed Zone TV replay presented by James Wagoner Welding. And taking a look at this one, I think we might have to throw that one on the 5 for this one. It looked like he's the one that smacked that 69 around pretty bad there. I don't think by any means it was intentional, but unfortunately, not a whole lot you can do in that case. We'll take another look at it from our camera and see if maybe there's something missed, but it looks like that might be on the 5 here. Yeah, it looks like just a big hit there from the 5, trying to get the 69. A good push there. Saw an opening, and it looks like maybe he was just trying to cover the window. And unfortunately, it went from the window to the wall. I am not going to finish that song at all. One last look at it here. Yep, you can see right there. It looks like a 78 as well. He went on the outside, kind of got trapped, and unfortunately the 5 just kind of plowed the 69 there. And unfortunately, that all but did it for them there. So Shane Welding Sr., unfortunately, the one causing the caution that time around. Out on lap number 19 here. Again, they'll serve their penalty here in just a second, but the official's going to make sure they get into pit road, get themselves a chance to get squared up before anything else happens here. So we're just nearly halfway done with this one, folks. What a lineup these guys have been putting on here. What a battle they've been throwing down on the track. Absolutely nobody's safe in this case. No one giving an inch and nobody laying up onto the track. They all want the same thing, and that is just to get one step ahead and one step back into the runs here. Sarah settings looked like everyone was checking up for something. Yeah, it looked like I think they were checking up on that 78 once he kind of got up on the outside, kind of dripped in, and then next thing you know, wow, that was nasty. Ashley Goldbull 1996 says, dang, what a wreck. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on the channel today, unfortunately, so I have to kind of refrain a bit. 5 with a lot of damage out there still. He's pretty badly beat up here. I'm going to be interesting to see if he can kind of hang in here in a bit. Looking at Lashbrook right now, looks like, yeah, it looks like he might be having a little bit more problems here. Looks like that car totally destroyed out there, unfortunately. Liam Beebe going to try to get it back out on the circuit. Lashbrook's going to bring it back out. Ramsey as well. Lights will continue to flicker around on the circuit. And again today, race fans, if we didn't miss it earlier on, we want to wish a heartfelt tribute over to Dennis here. In this case, we're wishing well to Dennis. Hopefully he gets well soon here. Yes, unfortunately, the Wagner family having a little bit of problems, having all sorts of situations down there. So we do wish Dennis a very heartfelt get better soon today to you, sir. Looks like Shane back into pit row, going to get some more damage cleaned up on that machine here. I guess since he already knew he was going to have to deal with an EOL anyway, he decided just to get the fuel and the tires put on it so he can just be ready for this one. Race fans, we're nearly halfway done with this one. I will do as I always do and ask you in the attendance and around, who do you think is going to get this one into victory lane? We're nearly halfway complete with this one. Take your votes and let me know down here in the comment section below. They're ready to get down to it. Pace car off of the front straightaway to the Wagner's Welding restart zone. We hit it. Green flag back in the air. Here we go again. Two, 3, 3, 4 says 3 gonna pull it off tonight. Well, that's his pick. We'll see if the truth comes out. I will say I've very been impressed with Tyler Barnes today, but again, there's one name that's been fighting up there and scratching to get back to where he started at, and that's that 78 of Tyler Manning. Matco Tools machine now is right there up there with Ben Carson. And you got to believe right now Carson is looking on as he sees the lead go away from him. He'll have to try to stabilize up and figure this one out. Everybody right now in a fight and a scratch and claw survival mode instinct coming up through the field. The number 7, Dalton Steele, he started 19th today, is now 17 spots up. He is your Hard Charger Award recipient at the moment. Again, it doesn't matter till you finish this race. Company on their doorstep, though. Johnny Hurst, number 58, looking on from the bottom lane there. You can see him looking up towards the sky, maybe looking just for an opening or looking for that shot in the dark. The number 15 there of Gary Miller, also in this one with that 98 and 99. Larry Furman on the inside, back behind him, Eric Copperthorne. It's going to be very, very questionable which one gets the better of the other here and which one starts to kind of find their rhythm. And number 24, Nicholas Don Francesco, I think he's driving a paint scheme, I believe I remember right. You guys can quote me if I'm completely wrong here, but I'm pretty sure that's a Jeff Gordon scheme. Way back from an all-star race down there at Old Charlotte Motor Speedway. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure that's an all-star race from Charlotte way back in the Williamsburg Court. Dude 334 says you need to have a start this season. They very much could. Still kind of figuring the team names and team drivers out here, so I do apologize if I make mishaps or mistakes here with who is who and what team. I'm usually mostly just kind of a pick the driver kind of guy. I never really figured out the team side of things other than what the pickers do down there. The number 2 of Tim Richardson here. Got a new little scheme going on down there. I like the little look he's got. Pretty sick looking, I must admit. Right now I gotta believe he's kind of trying to get comfy in that car. He's trying to stay in contention and in his own zone. You can see the wheel working right now. You can see also just that absolute footwork that he's using. That little shifter knob just completely rattling around again. These drivers are hitting speeds excessive upwards of 195 to 198 miles per hour. The top speed these things 205, 206. Right now they're posting, and I know they can get close to 210 miles per hour at full force. And if they didn't have the restrictor plates on, well, I'll tell you how fast they can really rip it around the tracks. All I could say is at that point, they would not be holding up. Pack right now again. I think at this point, everyone now kind of understands that they can't get too crazy or too out of control here. Probably just trying to stay one step away from issues or one step away from any conservative situations here. They really right now are looking on at the overall selection of where they're at, where they're going to have to run it through, and hopefully find themselves in a better run as we go through, as we get down and dirty into the final legs of the race. Top 5 right now on your screen here: Tyler Manning, Dalton Steele, Ben Parsons, Larry Thurman, and Cody Troyer. As Troyer gets moved down one spot there, Barnes now jumping right into the mix. Looking for opportunities, again, looking for any kind of zone or any kind of position to really make good on here. Noble says go number 6 down in the chat in our comment section here. That's 6 machine right now. Patrick Genter here started in the 2nd spot today, currently in 19th, but still long way to go in this one. No keeping around here. A little onboard camera here with that number 6 machine. And honestly, if I'm honestly serious here, I think he's kind of got a bit of a strategy going. I think he's trying to conserve the car as much as conserve the fuel. He sees what's going on up there. He probably realized, hey, if I get too close to that, like just right there, like that, you can see right there, back out of it and don't get too close. Let them do their own thing and let them get themselves into their mess and to get their mishaps out of the way. Don't worry about me. I'm focused on the race. I like that strategy, honestly. I think that's a bold strategy, and I think it's a bold maneuvering on many ways and many fronts, and I think that's the smartest thing to do. Let the other drivers do their thing and do what they have to. Barnes now up on the outside again. Parsons still keeping the bottom lane to himself. Again, he's going to have to really be thinking strategy and thinking smart and swift here. Don't let anything come between him and what could be. And focus on your situation. Oh! And that was not what they had in mind there. Oh, a nasty collision coming onto the front straightaway, and the big one has struck at Daytona. Oh man, oh man, oh man. 20 laps left to go as they come down here on lap number 30 to 31. The big one has struck. Where did it strike? Where did the lightning of the big one strike through, though? Let's take a look. And all right, well, there it is. Well, in my opinion, honestly, that looks like the 58 came off that wall, and unfortunately, it was too loose to control that thing. And unfortunately, with that tag in the back, couldn't really do much of it. You can't slam the wall and think that for 1 second that thing will hold on or hang on there. And unfortunately, once that aerodynamics of the car just went straight in, well, there was no going back from there. Again, may have had a little help from that 15, but in my opinion, I think the 58 was the one that started that whole chain reaction. There's not a whole lot of time you can really do to back off there. And in my opinion, a very, very nasty collision starting up there for him. Let's take a look at our flip cam here. Just start to look at it again. You can see just right there again. Once got on the wall, that's where the massive comes in. Not a whole lot of drivers who got through that either, so I'm pretty sure almost the whole field took a hit. Oh! That 22 unfortunately hit Ben Ryan, the 67 as well. Nasty, nasty, nasty collision. Again, there was nothing a lot of these drivers could do. When you're in that situation, at that point, you're pretty much just driving an obstacle course. There's no way to get out of it, and there's no way to avoid it at all. One more look at it. Give you a good little eye view here. Again, you see right there came off. And the next thing you know, there's your pile up. Oh my goodness. All I can say is thank God a lot of them were able to get out of it, at least in one piece, if you will. Well, race fans, while we get this cleanup finished up down here, we'll be right back with a quick short message.
Ruff-Neck Racing would like to thank our sponsor, Wagoner Welding. Wagoner Welding is a family-owned and operated business located in North Wilkesboro, North Carolina. They specialize in custom-built truck beds and framework of all types. You can reach them at 336-670-3427 or visit the shop located at 446 DeHart Church Road.
Welcome back live here on Speed Zone TV, race fans. A lot of drivers unfortunately caught up in that mess and in a wreck. The 58 Johnny Hurst not able to serve his penalty because the car is too much damaged up down there, and the 58 just saying we're just going to retire for the night, boys. Calling it a day. Tyler Manning and Justin Wine still currently dealing with the trouble and mishap from the wreck as well. They are both in pit road and trying to get out of it as soon as possible, but for that moment, that does not look like it's going to become the case. So your number one seed entering into this race is going to find himself in the worst possible position he could imagine. Drivers coming and going through the field, and now with only 17 laps to go, makes you wonder just what must be going through these drivers' minds and what must be going through their thought process, and realizing now that this could get harder and harder there. Sarah Lashbrook kind of saying the same thing we were saying here in the chat. 58 got into the wall, collected everyone. Ashley Goebel says that was almost the whole field. Yeah, that pretty much was almost the whole field. I think like 4 or 5 cars avoided getting into that. And Dude 334 says, come on, Tyler. We'll see if he can do it here as we're about to bring it back to the green flag. The Wagner's Welding restart zone sets them up. Ruff-Neck Superspeedway Series ready to get back down to it. Here we go. And that 22 down there is now turned into a modified down there. Gary Sicklecow right now is now literally a modified car. And I'm going to tell you this right now. Most of the time that doesn't work out too well if you're the one trying to win the race. But I've been very wrong before. We'll see what happens. Dude 334 7 6 7 and the 3 here getting together. You're getting ready to see some work. Well, if they want to do it, they got Ben Parsons to worry about as well as Larry Fairman there. Fairman on that outside lane, that 99, again earlier on got into some trouble and got into some problems, but has seemingly since recovered and now looking to try and put this one in the books with them. Down from the field on the front straightaway, every driver for themselves as they continue to work their way through the field, down from the back to the front. Come to the outhouse and try to travel into that White House. Get past the Supreme Court, and then all of a sudden you find yourself at the top of the inclusive mountain, if you will, of racing. And what better way to do it than at the World of Racing Speedway, if you will. The World Center of Racing. Main Daytona Beach circuit. Well used and well nailed and used before they ever came here. But the sandy beaches of Daytona still lie in that harboring frame in control. Now has brought us to this glorious monument of speed and power. Barnes now back to the race lead. Ben Parson. I did not mean to say Benny. Sorry, Ben. I swear, put your pitchforks and torches down, folks. I swear I do get names wrong every now and then, but if I say it wrong, come at me later. That looks like we got our first 3 wide salute of the night. Very, very rough move there as Dalton Steele going for a tight shot in the grip. He's trying to get the outside lane now cooked up with a 3 wide salute. Again, not impossible to do. Like I said earlier at Daytona, it's just you don't have as much breathing room like you did at Talladega, where 3 and 4 wides are almost pretty much just a factor in itself. Daytona is more of a shoot and fire from the hip kind of spot. Most drivers usually only taking it 2 lanes. Nobody likes to get that extreme 3rd lane up unless it is literally coming down to the wire. And right now, I think they are truly coming down to the wire. Only 14 laps remaining here. Ironically, 14 being where my birthday was, so I guess happy belated birthday to me in this case. What did they bring me on my birthday present? They gave me a solid racing show and a great day of racing action on Old Austin 316 day. Heck, why not? We do have a 16 and a 3 in this one. Of course, Liam Beebe. He's sitting around there in that Hardy 16 machine. Got a little bit of scraped up damage on the side of the car, but it's still running good and still running out there with the best of them. And then, of course, the other part, the 16, he is currently leading it as they try to hold down the roster, but now he's going to have some fighters on his hand. Wagner in the number 30 has summoned up to push the speed into the 99. Larry Fairman has got the lead up till he got to the turn 3 zone because Barnes got a big old whiff and a hit there from Parson, and Ben Parson moving him back into the spot. Now they are all pretty much taking one lane over the other. No one is giving an inch here, and no one is currently safe in this territory. The number 13 of Chris Ramsey now on the Jack Daniels machine. He is up there in the binders and up in the spot. Every driver for themselves here is currently, they're just moving their way around Dalton Steele in the 7. Again, Dalton, the only one that went for the 3 wide tandem. Try to get around a lot of drivers and try to make their move. It didn't quite work out as well as they were hoping for in this case, and I think now it's kind of coming back to haunt them. Big speed kicked up there for the number 3 of Barnes as the 99 of Fairman is now right dead center on the middle and the outside groove. The bottom lane, nowhere to go. They're pretty much trapped down there, so all that outside lane gets is more room for error and more room to jump up ahead. And I guarantee you that it's irking that bottom lane more than anything, because right at the moment, they're coming up with 11 laps to go. Sarah Lashbrook having a good little lap and says, "Come on, Dougie." Rooting on that 30 machine right now. Not too far behind in this one. Fairman again, one of only 2 Northern Brethren and drivers in this one. Still in the fight and still in the shootout. Ben Ryan, not far off either. Keep in mind, he's already won the last 2 super speedways. If there is a driver to watch out for, it's that 67. He's the one everyone had a target on this back for. 10 laps remain here in Daytona. Who is going to figure this one out? Who is going to take this one to the end? Pushing and shove, coming to run. Whoa, boy, hold on, drivers. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Whoa! Ramsey, Lashbrook, Richardson, and probably missing some others in there. Man, I don't know how they saved it, but they saved it, and they avoided the ugly one. The big one already started. The ugly one was coming forward off of number 4. Drivers way loose off the corner and trying to square it back up, not trying to throw themselves into the Johnny Hurst situation. Everybody in there right now just giving it their heart and their soul and just trying to stay out of trouble. But nevertheless, here they found themselves in another little clip up on the outside. Patrick Genter getting in there and taking with Dalton Steele, Lashbrook, and Ramsey with them. The 4 of Andrew Smith managing to escape that trouble and escape that spot as well. But you got to be thinking right now, like, what else can these drivers do? What else can they keep at their disposal in this kind of long run situation? Tolson right now probably trying to find something, trying to find that one little egg up, because again, he was right there in the spot. Now he's in the draft pack and trying to gain some more ground on him. Your race leader right now, James Wagner here. You can see he is just working the wheel and working through the speed, trying to keep that thing nice and under control. Oh, but a little bit of trouble down there on the track. We got a yellow flag out there. We have a yellow. And it's Tolson who we'll see first in the mix. Eight laps left to go. This one is now going to really put some drivers in some very tough positions. Let's take a look at it again. Looks like this one got interesting. This is what we were missing down there. 4 wide salute. Tolson. Pretty much, I'm not sure how you really describe that one. It looked like, if anything, Tolson pretty much closed the gap down there, and I think he was seeing himself possibly making the big transitional move. I think he knew he had speed, and I think he was looking for that big run. Let's take one more look at it here. Let's see here. It goes up on the outside lane. And again, slaps the wall. Again, stays out of the traffic, doesn't hit anybody. Doesn't go up. The 6, though, does catch him, unfortunately. That one is going to be a bit hard to determine there on lap number 43. I do not want to be in the officials' books. If it was me down there, I don't know. This one's a bit hard to say. Do you try to go after the 28 for going 4 wide on that one, or do you try to travel it down to the 6 for tagging him? Now the lap's going to wind down here. Time going to be the tail of the tail. Off that spot there, James Wagner was your race leader. Tyler Barnes in second. Ben Parson in third. Fourth, 99 to Larry Fairman. Fifth, Ben Ryan. Should be flickering those lights off this time on by. Pace car right now, just getting everybody squared up. Lights are off, 1 to go. 4 laps remain here in Daytona, race fans. One last time, I'll ask you, who's your driver? Do you see the number 30 getting into victory lane? Do you by chance see the number 3 returning to victory lane? Or maybe you like to see the number 33 into victory lane. How about that 99, Larry Fairman? Showing some strength here. He's showing it here. Or do you maybe see a three-peat, 3 in a row? That's 6-7, Ben Ryan. Or maybe we want to throw a random mid-card in there in the 98 of Eric Hoppathorn. Your choice is good as mine. I have absolutely no idea who's going to take this one home or who's going to put this one into position for the win. Sarah Lashbrook says Dougie is up in front with no friends for a push. Well, the thing is, Sarah, it doesn't take much to get somebody to get back up there with them and get a chance at it. There might be a shot. And if there's drivers who are anywhere smarter, know what they do. Sometimes it's just giving that simple push and run that'll make it enough to stay one step ahead of the transition, give them a chance to finish this one strong. Field going to square themselves up, down off of turn number 4 this time on by. With only 4 laps to go, it is anybody's race. Watch that Wagner's Welding restart zone because this could tell the tale of the tape. Who makes the mistake? Who gets the push? Who gets the run? It all comes down to possibly this one right here. Will this be our final restart of the day? It's about to be found out. Off turn 4 to the front straightaway, rolling him back down. Green is back out one last time, perhaps. Everybody just trying to get a chance to that bottom lane or trying to get something going quickly. Wagner immediately taking his shot, taking his move. Company on his doorstep. Here comes Tyler Barnes up on the outside. Barnes right now looking to try and keep that draft up in front with them. Sideways arrow drafting. Now big push in the back. Gets a good lick from the 99. Fairman trying to get him up there and trying to get a step ahead of that 30. He is shoving and smacking the back of that grab. Oh! Oh! No, 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 no! My! Oh, no, 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 no! The whole pack just got wrecked. Big crash off turn number 4. Oh my goodness, are you kidding me? Famous last words from Mr. Darrell Waltrip. Oh my goodness. I thought honestly they may have been able to clear it there. Unfortunately, I think you can guess what happened. That one, oh boy, oh boy. Take a look at this here. This one I don't think it's hard to figure out. That is sitting on the 99 there. Comes up down to the 3, and then, well, there was nowhere to go at that point. Here comes the big one. Oh my goodness. And it just was nowhere to go. I mean, the thing is, like, you're up front in that lead, and you're battling hard. You're hoping and praying for the best, but you just expect the worst. That is always the toughest thing about super speedway races. It's extremely exciting when you're in that position as much as it is getting your heartbeat going, but then there's also this problem. You're going nearly 180 to 190 to almost 200 miles per hour trying to hold on to a big hunk of junk and a ton of car like this. That's tons of metal and framework these guys are literally trying to hold on to, while at the same time trying to constantly just stay one step ahead of issues and probably problems more than anything. And they just cannot simply get out of that mess in time, and unfortunately, that's exactly what happened here. Give you a good idea like where the other drivers were when they wrecked. Number 34, oh, took a nasty one on the inside there. Man. So they are going to give him the penalty there, the 99. Going to have to go to the back, unfortunately, and I guarantee you this is going to make things a whole lot tougher for him and that team. Probably not what they wanted to do or get in that situation, but again, there's nothing you can really do. Like, the problem is, like, you're in that spot and you have that situation happen or it comes up, it will cost you. And he knew it too, but he was trying his best to avoid it and trying to get out of it. But like I said, just that aggression and that mindset, it's so hard to detain and control because, again, you want so bad to get that big move and make that run. It just comes with no control there. Sarah Lash possessed Copperthorne leading the pack after that. Yes, he will indeed. Race fans, 2 laps remain. Our first green, white checker attempt here. Eric Copperthorne, Chris Ramsey, Matthew Barker, the ace himself, Nicholas Don Francesco, Dalton Steele, Cody Troyer, Tim Richardson, Patrick Enter, Gary Sicklecow, and Barry Tolson. They are your top 10 right now. And there's nobody that's in the stands right now. Everybody's on their feet. They're ready for this one. What on earth must be going through these drivers' minds right now as they are about to approach another restart zone with only 2 laps left and only 2 thoughts on their mind, and that's either win or don't get wrecked with another caution if it comes out. That's got to be the only things running through their mind, but everything else running through their brains must be just how fast or how quick can we get to the inside or get to the outside or jump into position, jump ahead. Oh, man, I would not want to be any of these guys right now. That is for certain. This time around, race fans, they are about to get down at it. One more run here, one more race to finish it up. Who comes out on top? Who takes the top spot away here in Daytona? The green is out to finish this one down. Up on the back, then Ramsey gets spun sideways. Everyone's trying to avoid him. Now they're not going to. Yellow is out. Yellow is out. Oh man, oh man, oh man. That is not what they wanted to do, and that was their first of 2 green white checkers, which means they've only got one more to get this one finished up. Let's look at the replay. Somebody's gonna not be able to escape scot-free from this one. Look to me, yeah, right there. I think you can see it. Dalton Steele just came right underneath that 13 and just completely took him. Dalton, unfortunately, again, I think he was trying to find a little bit of a shot there. I think he was trying to get around the inside of the 13. One more to look at, see if we can truly determine it. Looks like he's that angle, that's a little hard to tell there. That is a very interesting angle there, folks. I don't know. This one is going to be a little tricky to figure out. I would not want to be in the race with this right now. It looks to me like Dalton was going inside, and it looks like the 7, I don't know, maybe he got a little bit loose there and came down. Or 4th. The 7 just completely went up, and there was nowhere to go from there. Again, we're going to look at it one last time here. Again, we were trying to review everything as quick as we can. It looks to be like he took the arrow from the 13 there. It looks like it came straight down on him. And it caused that whole massacre of a mess there. That's all I can tell. Lap 51 going to be extremely hard. I'll let you fans in the booth here decide for yourself. I really could not tell you for sure. This will be their last green-white checker attempt, folks. So now with that, folks, last chance up for grabs here. Everybody in the comment section saying, what is going on out there? Ashley Goebel says that. What the heck is going on? Sarah Lashford says, Crash City. Sarah says, looks like the 7 got in a 13 there from her eyes. I honestly can see that idea there. I can see it. I mean, the number 7 did go into between there in the middle. The only thing really, it's hard for me to truly determine, like, if it was in the back or pushing around, yeah, that's pretty obvious. But when you got somebody that's clear, and then someone just kind of comes up or down on you slightly, it really changes the whole dynamic of the car there. It makes it that much harder to control and stabilize back down there. Appreciate the comment there, Sarah. All right, race fans, final green-white checker attempt. Who do we got? Who's going to get it? We're about to find out as we're rolling back down off of turn number 3 and 4 for the final time in a restart scenario. No gimmies here and no giving up now. You either take it or you don't. That is the name of the game. Put them up right down onto the final straight this time on by to the Wagner's Welding restart zone. One more chance to finish it out. Got to make it to the white flag here. If they can make it to the white flag, this will end under green. Copperthorne, big lead. Don Francesco right behind him. Everybody else trying to find Copperthorne now getting a big push there from Don Francesco. Big trouble there on the back. They've wrecked. They've wrecked. Barnes has wrecked in the field. No caution. No caution's out. It's out. Copperthorne has got the lead, and I think this one's over. Copperthorne had the lead at the yellow flag. Don Francesco was right there behind him at point of it. I don't think they want to end it that way. I think they want to finish the race the way they feel they should. But the thing is, this one's all but done and over with. The white flag is out. And Eric Copperthorne, I believe, was the one that was leading to the green. The officials right now reviewing everything and putting this one in the books, but I think this one will end it right there. Waiting for the official call. They put that checker flag out there. It's official. There it is. There's the checkered flag. This one's going to be put in the books. Eric Copperthorne in the number 98 is going to be your winner here today in the James Wagner's Welding Super Speedway Series. And I think he's smiling a little bit inside that cockpit. You can see his eyes probably squinting around in there. He's probably thinking, man, all that to finally get this one put in the books. Eric Copperthorne is going to get the win here today on this one. And my word, was it a battle and a shootout to have to get to. Go ahead and take it down now here with our drivers and hear from them here from this position, this situation. My word, what a run and a day they've had on the circuit. He's going to join me now, race fans, here in the victory lane. Ladies and gentlemen, the number 98, Eric Copperthorne, gets it done here today. Eric, my friend, whoo-hoo, boy. How in the heck did you even get around all that madness, let alone get to the top spot, good sir?
You know, speedway racing, 95% of it is luck, and that's what it was tonight. I was able to miss the big wrecks and right place at the right time at the end, and I had some of my teammates 1, 2, 3, so we kind of had the front row to kind of control, and luckily, not luckily, but the guys were wrecking behind us, and we really didn't have to do much racing at the end because Yellows kept coming out, and then it ended under yellow, unfortunately.
Yeah, it ended up kind of. Yeah, it ended up kind of becoming a yellow there at the end. A bit unfortunate there, not to be able to finish under the green. But I mean, for your first win of the season, I gotta believe this was one that you and your friends and family were definitely looking forward to, wasn't it?
I'll take it. Speedway racing is difficult. Like it's like I said, half is luck, and luck is not usually on my side. So tonight, I am really happy the luck was on my side, and I got the win. I have to thank my teammates because they were, 2 and 3, Nick and Ace. I knew we were, even if we had to race it, we were going to be pretty good at being able to pull off at least a team win if it wasn't going to be me.
For sure there. Well, nevertheless, Copperthorne, I got to ask you, who do you want to thank you're getting it to victory lane today?
Well, I got to thank the admins, and tonight it shows how tough they work and how tough it is to be an admin. Tough race. They put on a lot of practice races to make sure we kind of present better races. So I want to give them a shout out because they really do put a lot of work and time and work into this, and I want to have good races for them. But unfortunately, every once in a while, you have a bad one. And I want to thank you too for broadcasting it because it gives me a chance to look at the entire race later on because you kind of get focused in on just what you're doing, and I don't even really know what happened on all these yellows, and I get the opportunity to see that by rewatching your broadcast, and I really appreciate you guys doing that.
Well, we appreciate having us on by, and hopefully it's best entertaining as well when you get around to it here. Copperthorne, congratulations getting her done here tonight.
All right, thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the number 88, your race winner Daytona, Eric Copperthorne. Now onto the booth here, race fans here. Pilots the big old 24 today, and an all-star car. This one was Nicholas Donfrancesco getting it done here in second place. Now, Nicholas, it looked like before that caution came out, you had a full big back of that rear end of 98 and possibly a shot to make a run for it. What was going through your mind there when you saw the last bit of the laps following up on you?
To be honest with you, I was kind of watching the mirror, and the spotter said that they were wrecking behind us, and I didn't know, like, if making that move would have been worth it, but we'll never know now. But and then he's also a teammate, so I kind of have to weigh both of them at the same time. So at least one of our cars got in the victory lane tonight. So or 1, 2, 3, or what? So.
For sure there. I mean, honestly, it looked like kind of coming down to the wire there. I mean, obviously, you had a lot of speed, a lot of bit of transition you had to kind of get through, really staying in away from and avoiding the wrecks all day. How were you able to kind of do that and really kind of keep this thing in one piece?
I kind of just rode around in the back and letting everybody else tear up their race car. And the more I was cautious and more aware, I was able to use that to my advantage, like do pit stops and everything, and which ultimately put me up front with the leaders. And yeah, a lot of it was strategy that was played into it. So.
Well, the strategy definitely played out well here today. Nicholas, who do you want to thank you for this runner-up position today?
I want to thank my pit crew, my teammates, sponsors for putting on the show, putting on the race, allowing us to do this every night. But yeah, that's about it.
For sure there. Well, hey, man, nevertheless, congratulations taking on home for a second place finish here today.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nicholas Donfrancesco, your second place finisher in the number 24. Now joining me in your final set for the podium position here, driver of the number 96, the ace, Matthew Barker. And Matthew, man, it looked like, honestly, things could go either way there until that final caution came out. But nevertheless, all day, you've been kind of pretty consistent on staying in that top half, the upper echelon, if you will. And now coming away in third, I got to believe this is at least a decent enough result for what you were feeling today, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. After that first incident, I don't know how I kept control of the car there at the beginning of the race, out in front of the field like that. But props to my team, man. They gave me the courage. They kept encouraging me, man, not to stay down on myself, because when something like that happens, it's hard to rebound. And they encouraged me, and we rebounded a couple times there. And kept fighting. It turned out to where I had 2 teammates up front there to end. Uh, Tonight was our night. Shout out to Bottom of the Barrel Racing. This team coming together. It's the team I put together in the off season with some guys. Uh, and, it's coming together. I think all we're starting to click on all cylinders. I'd like to give a shout out to my sponsor, James Wagoner, Welding. Couldn't do this without him. I think that got enough for what he does for us. But this bottom of the barrel team racing, this team, it's going to surprise a lot of people.
Surprise a lot of people indeed. And man, I got to ask you, it seems like kind of coming into this season, obviously, I know you guys are really trying to get this team like footing and everything back underneath you. I mean, with the next one coming up, what will it be like for you to honestly be able to take one more step ahead in that kind of position?
Just a lot of practice and a lot of work with each other. Like I say, we all ain't really worked that much together. But this was a quick throw together of a team. I think I've selected the right key ingredient to build something special. Actually, 'cause we all work well together, we communicate well together, and so us just keep working together and keep fighting. Rockingham coming up on Wednesday is going to be a tough track. It's tough on tires. That's the track we tend to struggle at. So we're going to put a lot of testing in this week. Try to momentum going forward.
For sure there. Well, nevertheless, anybody else want to thank you for tonight, this one on the race tonight here, Matthew?
Oh yeah, I'd like to thank Timmy for everything he does, and all the admins for what they do. Shout out to James Wagner for everything he does for us guys, giving us a place to race every Monday. And, I'd like to shout out my teammates and my family, for letting me take time away from them to do this twice a week. So shout out to and all the fans watching, because we broadcast this for them. But if it wasn't for them, it wouldn't be much of a point in doing it. We do have a pretty good fan base. We enjoy each and every one of those, and we love you guys. Thank you guys for what y'all do, coming out each and every week and watching.
Yeah, no problem there, man. We do it for you guys as much as we do it for the people. Just hope we can keep a good little atmosphere for you guys and keep the people happy as well. So, nevertheless, Matthew, congratulations getting it done here for a 3rd place finish tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, Matthew Barker going to bring it on home for a 3rd place position and a finish. And that all but do it for us tonight here, race fans. We do appreciate coming on by. We'll see you next time when that green flag flies on Speed Zone TV.